Hey, Chanel, can you hear me?
Oh,
Yes, Miss Lawson, can you hear me? There you go.
my camera is way far back. I don't know why.
There you go. How are you?
Fine, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic, man. Happy Friday.
Same to you. Sorry about the rescheduling.
Listen, I mean, we were like in our third meeting with Southern yesterday, and they forgot that they had graduation going on yesterday. So we had
Mm,
the meeting scheduled on our calendar. So they sent us a notification like 20 minutes, like, oh my gosh, we have to reschedule. We got graduation going on. The vice chancellor can't be on the call. We totally get it. It's education, right? Things happen, things pop up. You get dragged into meetings you didn't plan for. Meetings go longer than planned. It's just part of what you guys do.
yes, sir.
How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic, man. Are you when is the last day for school before you all break for the holiday?
Thursday. Next Thursday.
Next Thursday, then you guys break for a couple weeks, 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm. We'll be back on January 6th.
Mm-hmm. January 6th. Are you traveling? Are you staying in town?
I am probably gonna be staying in town.
Right, right, right. Oh, that's fun. That's fun. Okay, good. Well, is anybody else from your team joining or is this it for us?
This is it for now. And then I'll see what it is, and then I'll bring it to the team and we'll schedule something further for the team.
Okay, that's fantastic. So tell me more about your role in your institution and the work that you do.
I am Director of Academic Advising and Retention. And so mostly my job is, of course, advising students and then reaching out to our stop out students, keeping our students from enrollment to graduation, um, any registration events, and pretty much any y'all catch all. We catch all in my department. So we have a mental health company that we use. And so that falls in my department as well as disability services and scholarships falls in my area as well.
They're trying to keep you busy over there, huh? Now, I know you got two locations, right? You got the one in Port Arthur and the other one. And so do you manage both or just the one?
So we are separate institutions.
Is that right?
hmm So same last name, no relation.
I like that. Okay, okay. Oh, okay. That makes it so much easier then. I was like, hold on a second. Are these two institutions, the same institution, two locations, or what's going on? Okay, good. So obviously we've got this meeting scheduled. What triggered you to schedule the meeting? What did you see? How did you find out about it?
So my direct supervisor, which is the Dean of Student Services, she received an email and was interested in seeing what you guys offered. So I scheduled the meeting to see what you offer so I could bring that information back to her and see if that would be something the campus would like to,
Explore.
or
Okay, that's good. It's always good for me to know that helps. So let's go ahead and get started then. And if I'm saying anything that's stupid or redundant, just say, Jacob, no need for that information. It's redundant, stupid, or whatever. And then we can just get to the crux of what you're looking to see, right? Obviously, let me know once you can see my screen. Can you see my screen?
yes, I can.
Fantastic. So obviously, here's kind of our agenda of what we'll be covering today. Is obviously the overview of the problem that we're seeing across the country, really super pronounced in community colleges and in HBCUs. So really impacting more than anybody else, disenfranchised populations, right? Marginalized students. So we'll talk about that, the impact of the problem on the students, the professors, and the colleges that we're seeing. And on the back end, we'll do a demo of the actual product. So you get to kind of get a feel in a sense of what it looks like. So is this okay in terms of just the overview?
Yes.
So right now, I mean, what is your current dropout rate? I mean, is it approximately 30% we're seeing or more than that or less than that?
I am not sure what our actual dropout rate is right now. Um, I can't give you that answer. So that, but it sounds about right.
Sounds about right in line, right? It's about that number, I think, maybe give or take 3 or 2% either way. But obviously, like we talked about, right, in terms of your student demographic, what is the breakdown of your student demographic right now in your college?
Like as far as
Race.
race. So we are a Hispanic serving institution. So oh, definitely over, I don't know the exact percentage, but definitely over 30% of our student population is Hispanic students or Hispanic or Spanish speaking students. We have majority outside of Hispanic. The next set would be African American students,
Hmm.
and then everybody else falls under that.
Right,
Mhm.
right. And are these first generation college students for the most part?
Yes, yes, I'm gonna say maybe 40% of first time in college students, but we have a large dual credit population. Majority,
Mm,
57% of our students are dual credit.
really? From the local high school? What's your local high school there?
So we have multiple. So we have a school right across the street from us, which is Wilson Early College High School. We have Port Arthur Memorial High School, Bob Hope High School, Nederland High School, Port Neches High School, and
Right.
Bean Pass. Mhm.
Okay, and how do you take those students? Do you take them as part-time or dual credit in your how do you take those students in your records in your student information system?
Well, most of them are going to be part-time.
Part-time. Okay, that's what I thought. So full-time, part-time, those dual credits. So the data was showing right now, which because you made a comment, I was like, oh, because you got the mental health organization you're working with.
Mhm.
One of the number one reasons that we're showing in the data and the research that has been done is that 67% of students that drop out, 67, the number one reason why they drop out is because they don't fully understand the support services that are available to them, that are offered by the institution that they belong to, right? So, for example, you bring up mental health, which you know that's a big one right now, right? And anytime if a student, sure, if they're first generation, if they feel like there is no support from anybody, it's just them and the world is kind of closing in on them, what they'll most likely do is just drop out and say, I'm done with this. I need to figure something out. It happens all the time. But sometimes you actually are offering those services in the school, but they're just not aware of that, right?
That is true.
Right. So we're seeing this across the country. And my daughter is a freshman at Howard. And she called me like 4 weeks ago. She goes, Hey, Dad, I need help with some math problems. I'm like, okay, go, let's take a look at this. Okay. We looked at this math. I was like, go, listen, you got me. I don't know what you're talking about. Right. But then I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, if she didn't have somebody like me to call, she'd struggle by herself. Then I say to her, I say, listen, check with your dean, check with your RN, check with somebody there because there is help for tutoring. Either there's peer-to-peer tutoring or there's a tutoring service that's provided by the school that you can go to and get help that you need, right?
Mhm.
But if she didn't have somebody like me to reach out to, she would struggle by herself. She starts failing that class. The more she fails that class, she's stressed. I mean, it just kind of gets
Mhm.
too much for her, and before you know it, she's out of there.
Yeah.
And the number one reason being they just don't know all the support services that are available to them. 9 out of those 10 students that say they dropped out because of that reason, they said if they knew these different services were available, they would have engaged them and found the help that they needed. So we've got to find a way to bridge a gap. But the challenge we have is with most schools, they don't have enough resources to reach all the students. You don't have enough support coaches. You don't have enough advice. It's just not enough to be able to reach all the students in a meaningful way, right? So there's that gap between when you find out that the learner is at risk, the time they drop out, it's almost too late. They're already on their way out. And
Mhm.
by the time the professors know about, it's like, oh my gosh, what's going on? We're always running backwards. we were in a meeting this week with Kansas, with the district in community school in the Midwest area, and the CIO was in the meeting with us. The executive director of student services could not join because they just got a report that over 50% of their students were dropping out into next semester. So they were freaking out. And as we were unpacking this information, I was like, oh my gosh, that it goes, yeah, we just got the report this morning. We've got to find a way. We can't lose 50% going to second semester. And I'm like, it's almost too late, right? Because now you're reacting to what's happening. So there's this
Yes.
latency, there's this gap, right? Trying to find to bridge a gap. So those are some of the key problems we're going to anchor on today in what we're talking about. Really, those three things, right? Number one is how can we make sure that our students are well informed of all the resources, support service resources that are available to them? So number one. Number two is how can we bridge the latency gap? So you know as early as possible so you can intervene before it's like end of semester, 50%, what the heck, what's going on, right? Now you're trying to find ways, right? And number three is because we know that there's a capacity issue. You don't have enough people to support these students. How can we leverage technology to help bridge that gap? So those three things are what we're going to anchor on as we're talking and having this conversation today. Stop me at any time, Miss Reed. Is it Miss Lawson Reed? I want to make sure I don't say the
Oh,
wrong thing.
I mean, it's Lawson Reed, but you can say Lawson, it's fine.
Okay. So stop me at any time so we kind of like on the same page. Questions, comments, do not hesitate, okay?
Mhm.
So that's what we just about the research that just came out September 24th. So this year, a few weeks ago, that research came out. But here are the three buckets, right? You've got the issue with the student bucket where they're getting unmotivated, possibly because of just the sheer stress of college. You know, it's different. You're an adult. I mean, I'm going to use my example of my daughter again, because, you know, when they're in high school, they want to be adults. They can't
Mhm.
wait to be adults. I can't wait to leave the house. I'm so ready, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, girl, you sure about that? I can't wait. I want to be free. I can't wait to go to school. Get to school, they realize, oh, snap, hold on one second. I got a whole bunch of responsibility. Now they're calling daddy, they're calling mom, right? It's
Mhm.
just too much. If they don't have that support system, 9 times out of 10, they're going to drop out because they're going to struggle, right? So we're seeing that. But then you have the gap within the professors because they just lack the visibility ahead of time. They're waiting for assessment data. They're waiting for attendance records to know, like, okay, who's at risk, who's struggling, right? The story that I share around that piece, I remember when I was in college and I was taking my statistics class. The first day, first week of that class, the professor comes in and says, guys, listen, if you stay in this class, through this semester, you will pass the class. That's exactly what they say to us. If you stay in until the end, you will definitely pass this class. Man, I tell you what, we looked around that class, we're like, shh, I'm staying. I'm not going anyway. I'll be in this class until the end. 3 weeks in, guess what happened? We dropped to less than 50% students in that class. That's a tough class. Statistics is hard. It's not easy. I'm like, man, this is hard.
Mhm.
Nobody taught us this kind of math, you know. But if the professors do not have visibility early on to try to help as they're delivering instruction, it becomes a challenge. So you want to resource them as early as possible as well. And obviously for you at the college level, because this impacts your funding, it impacts a lot of resources and how you discretionary tools that you can provide. If these numbers change, to the point I'm making with this school in the Midwest, right, is finding out now that 50% are at risk of dropping out is not a good thing for them at all. All the resources they have, discretionary dollars, there's a lot of impact there. So you want to provide some analytics around that to really help them understand early on so you can take actions to prevent.
Mhm.
Okay. So we talked about this. How do we do this? Then I'll go into the demo and walk you through. One of the things that we do early on when we engage with your institution is we ask for at least 3 years of historical data. So we're going to ask for your student information data in the last at least 3 years, your LMS data, at least 3 years. We'll take that and we'll ingest it into our systems. What the technology is doing at that point using machine learning and AI, it starts to aggregate and see trends and patterns over time in those at least 3, 4, 5 years based on different student demographics. Okay. By the time you then load in your years, your students in school this year, on day one, the technology is able to identify students that are at risk of dropping out from day one. So you don't have to wait for assessment data to come in. You don't have to wait for attendance data to come in. On day one, we can kind of tell, okay, Jacob may have the potential of. So we need to, right? But what happens is because we know, how many students do you have in your college?
4,000, almost 4,000.
Right. And how many support success coaches do you have?
We have one full-time success coach, two part-time success coaches, and then there's one, two, three full-time advisors and one part-time advisor.
As you know, based on those numbers you just gave me, they're definitely not enough to be able to support your students in a meaningful way. They'll do the best they can, right? But here's what we do. Once those students have been identified by the technology, right? Like Jacob has the potential to drop out. I'm not sure if you saw the report that just came out from the Federal Reserve of Philadelphia that's predicting schools that have the risk of actually shutting down colleges. Did you see that report? I think it came out last week. Now, the model and the technology that they're using to be able to predict future outcomes based on historical data is the exact same model we're using. Exact same model, because you want to be proactive, right? So what we then do is once the students have been flagged and identified, our technology then pushes out notifications to students via SMS and via email, and also to their advisors. In this SMS messaging, it's listing to them what support services are available to them specific based on their profile. So for example, if Jacob is flagged as first generation college students, did not take any dual credit classes, or you know what I mean, those type of indicators, or low income, whatever it may be, right? We now know Jacob is going to need support in maybe tutoring, additional tutoring, if he's taking hard classes, what minimum class. So then the notifications will go out and say, here are the support services you need. Or Jacob just had a baby in high school. That's a different challenge that they need support services for coming into college, right? Those supports, based on what you guys offer in your institution, we load that stuff into the system, and the notifications will go out identifying specific support services that are offered by your institution that are available to that learner based on that learner's profile. If they don't take an action on that via email or SMS or respond or engage an advisor, a reminder goes out in 7 days. Hey, Jacob, we want to remind you this is available for you if you need help, if you need support. If a learner really is struggling in those areas, whether it's financial aid, whatever it may be, they are going to request a meeting because now they know it's available for them. So that's being done to create awareness. But also notifications are going out to emails of your professors that are supporting those students and your advisors so they know that these students have been flagged. Any questions, comments?
So I guess we submit class schedule information so that that's how the instructor is notified. Okay.
Absolutely. All right. So let's go ahead. And the beautiful thing about this, by the way, Miss Lawson, is this is real-time data. What we're doing is we're ingesting this data every week. So it's an update every single week. So we're not having to wait a long period of time, because the more information you have ahead of time and the technology is working, then you guys can also be proactive in that process. So let's
So
go.
it's not a, so
Go
it's
ahead.
not a daily, it's a weekly update.
Yeah, we can schedule daily or weekly, depending. I mean, once you go into the school year and there's grades coming in, that's at beta every 36 hours. But
Oh, okay.
beginning it's uploading that. Let's go ahead and jump into the demo. I'm gonna log in. Can you see my screen? Oh, not yet.
No.
Can you see
And
my screen? Huh?
yes.
All right, let's log into the demo account. So just a few seconds, what are you seeing right now on the screen?
The name of the school, the campus, the instructor. Oh, it greets the instructor,
Mm-hmm.
the number of students that's at risk.
Right.
Oh, and the students that are at risk.
Yes. So you will have a dashboard just like this. So it will show you all the students that have been flagged at risk right here, and whether that number is up or down compared to last year, same time, right? And the dropout rate, the actual percentage, right? Obviously, this is a demo account, right, for demo purposes. But then it'll also flag the actual students. So you can see by student name. Okay. Now we can drill down into this. You can click on the actual students. It will then pull back this specific student's profile, their name, their information, all that stuff. It's loaded in the system. Okay. And here it will say risk factors. It will then identify the risk factors that have been identified by the technology on this specific learner. And then down below, it will then identify the support intervention services recommendation. So when a notification goes out to this learner, it's highlighting just the recommended services. It's not highlighting this.
Okay.
It's just highlighting this information. This is for you guys so you know on your end what has been flagged by the technology for you, your professors, your advisors, and your success coaches. In the notification, it will notify, hey, Jacob, via SMS, did you know that this support service is available for you? Do you need additional tutoring? Do you need financial support assessment? What information do you need? Language support, whatever it may be, right? For you, I think the word you used was you have a high population of Hispanics, right? Some of them may be second language learners, right? So they may be struggling with just the language. Like, ugh, I'm struggling in class and they just, you know what, I'm out. I'm going to just do something else.
And we actually do have that as the issue right now.
You do, right? Yeah, because I mean, I would imagine with where you guys are, right? The population you're pulling in, there's a lot of just LATAM dialects that are spoken in that region, and sometimes it's not English is not their first language. So that's a big problem, right? Because if there's that huge language barrier and they're struggling and they don't feel like the support is there, they can't communicate effectively, they'll just drop out. So you want to make sure that's happening, that's being pushed out and notified, and you guys are seeing that. As this is going out, any action that the advisor, the success coach is taking, you can see the action here. Why is this important? Because the technology is collecting all of that information and aggregating that data on the back end. So you can actually have specific reporting on the specific action that was taken, the specific intervention support service that was given out, and the frequency of that. Why is that important? That becomes very important as you guys are planning for your next year and where you invest in terms of support services. You may actually find out for your community, the number one support service that's required is maybe financial support. Maybe it's tutoring. Maybe it's mental health. Like you said, you already know it's mental health. That's where you then really resource heavy versus other areas. But you may also find out that the mode of communication that's most effective is just emails, or it's phone calls, or it's the face-to-face they have with the professors. Whatever it may be, you'll be able to identify that. So you can see that here it's being tracked and aggregated for you. So this is collected here. Then it's pushed out directly to a report called an impact report that then shows you the impact of the different support services being rendered. How do we measure the impact? Is based on students that are flagged as at risk. And as the semester progresses, as the year progresses, if they then drop out of at risk and stay in school, that's success
Mhm.
because we're still tracking them. We've not stopped.
On the popular where it says financial aid counseling, is that where the student meets the most, or is it just
The most popular one is the one that's recommended the most.
oh okay.
Yeah, because the key, that's a great question actually, because based on your specific community, remember we talked about your community. The model is built to your community. It's not built to your neighboring schools or down to the street down in you. No, no, it's your specific community. Your needs are not the same for like everybody else. So we want to know what's most popular in your community. So from a resource standpoint, you can dedicate more time and resources to that. Okay. Down below here, it's going to show you the frequency of sessions, the mode of communication that's taking place. So as you can see, meetups, phone calls, video conferences, how often that has happened. This is when they actually engage with your advisors, your professors and whatnot. That's been collected and aggregated as well. So this becomes very powerful and impactful for you as you're planning. And you can see that. But also, if then you want to really take a look at a specific professor or a specific advisor and notice that, okay, for whatever reason, they have been assigned 100 students, they only took action on 25, 75 are struggling, and they're still high-risk students, then from a management standpoint, you want to maybe have a conversation, okay, what can we do to support our advisors? Are they overwhelmed? What support do they need? What's working for others? What's not working for them? It gives you those insights as well.
That's good to know. So where it says what would make someone no longer high risk? I guess their circumstances, their recommendations change.
That's a great question. Look at this. I'm going to show you. I'm glad you asked that question. So when you go back to the student dashboard, because the technology is aggregating this learner throughout the year, okay? It's not just a one time. So their progression is being watched now versus the actual attendance, performance in class on the assessments, all of that. So you can see here where it says recommendation impact. It'll show you their progression over time. So if we're now seeing that this learner is actually attending their classes, their grades are going up over a period of time, they drop off the high risk recommendations list. Because now we know they're super engaged. And we're also watching their grades, performance before and after. You can see that. See that? Now, some of these learners, you may want to put them on your care list, right? To make sure, hey, Jacob is special circumstances. We want to keep an eye on him regardless. We just want to make sure he gets the support he needs. You always have those students that sometimes they just need an extra touch. You know what I mean? You may want to just put them on your care list, add them to your care list. So then they're on your care list and you kind of keep an eye on them.
Does the colors mean anything when by the highlighted name?
Oh, yeah. Red, high risk. Yellow on the bubble. Green, not at risk at all.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, as you're looking at this, one of the key important metrics to aggregate and take a look at is the risk by course. I gave you the class, the statistics class, which is a very hard class, right? Is you start to really see the impact of dropouts by course. I mean, students are struggling in chemistry one. I mean, what's going on there? You can drill down on that course itself specific and see Is it an issue with the professor? What's going on in that class? What support do they need? But you also have insights to see that data by course, by retakes, and all of those measurements. That's all integrated in the system to where you can see it on your dashboard.
Okay.
Okay. There's so many other reporting capabilities built into the tool, which ensures if you want to see it by, by year or by retakes of the course or just by demographic breakdown, right? Ethnicity groups, if you want to see by financing, are they being state funded, out of state, out of country, international students, you can see all that broken down that way as well. Just to give you some insights for your planning as you're identifying the students that are at risk and whatnot.
So this is the like advisor success coach view. Is there a student view?
No,
Okay.
you do not have a student view. This view is just for you, your team, student success coaches, and central office.
Okay. Okay. So this is for us to use.
Absolutely. What are your thoughts? That's the technology in a nutshell.
It's pretty cool, gives a lot of information. How long does implementation usually take for it?
So, because most of the data you already have it,
Mhm.
right, in your LMS, in your students. What LMS do you guys use?
Blackboard,
Blackboard. Okay, you already have it in Blackboard. And what student information system do you use?
banner.
Oh, perfect, right? So most of that data is already there. So
Mhm.
we'll just pull that data from there and load it up. And in about 6 weeks, you should be up and running.
Oh, okay. Okay. So it's not a long implementation at all.
No.
All right. And we set it up if we want it updated every week or what.
Yeah.
Okay.
So during the implementation call, we'll define all those, how often you want it updated.
Okay. Okay. I will pass this along to my supervisor and I will see what if she wants to do a demo for her and some other people, and then I'll get back with you on that.
Okay. What questions do you have for me? Is you just saw it, initial reaction and all that stuff?
I don't have anything as of right now. I don't have anything. It's pretty self-explanatory. Um, it's good information that we need to have at our fingertips so that we can identify students before they become dropouts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Right. Fantastic. All right. You've got my email. Do you still have that link I sent you? You have a link to
Mm-hmm.
schedule. So
Mm-hmm.
after you meet with your team and your supervisor, um, and then we can follow up. When would you like for me to follow up with you?
Um, Next week's our last week, so we probably won't follow up till after January.
That's
Till,
fine.
till January, yeah.
Okay, fantastic. We could do that. All right, Miss Lawson, thank you so much for your time. If you have any questions between now and then, shoot me an email. Don't hesitate to reach out, and I'll sure be glad to help you.
All right, thank you.
Have a great holiday, okay?
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.